What would you do if you looked up tonight and saw two moons in the sky? One glowing silver and calm, the other smaller, red and dangerously close. At first, it feels like magic until the tides rise higher than ever before. Waves crash into cities, nights grow too bright to sleep, and the planet begins to tremble. So what really happens when beauty turns against you? Welcome to the era of double tides and double trouble. The time Earth might have had two moons. Long before humans existed, around 4.5 billion years ago, Earth wasn't alone. According to scientists at Caltech, a Mars-sized body named Theia collided with early Earth. The crash was so violent that molten debris spread across space, and over time that debris joined to form our moon. But here's where it gets interesting. Some researchers think two moons were born that day, not one. The smaller mini-moon might have orbited for millions of years before crashing into the larger one, leaving the thick crust we now see on the far side. So, in a way, traces of that second moon could still be up there, merged, silent, and forgotten. But what if it never merged? What if it survived? Two moons in the sky. Picture the night sky. One bright full moon on the left, and another smaller one, glowing pale orange, hanging to the right. The larger moon moves calmly, while the smaller one orbits faster, chasing it across the heavens like a shadow. Nights would be brighter, almost silver, and two overlapping shadows would fall across the land. Every night would look different as both moons change position. Artists would paint it, poets would write about it, and for a while, it might feel magical. But magic in space never lasts long because gravity always collects its payment. The gravitational tug-of-war. Each moon would pull not only on Earth, but also on each other. That's like three dancers holding hands while spinning at different speeds. Sooner or later, someone falls. The smaller moon's gravity would tug on the larger one, slightly shifting its orbit, while Earth's pull would stretch both. This constant tug-of-war would make their paths unstable, forcing the little moon to drift inward. It would begin to wobble, its orbit changing a little more each month. Scientists call this orbital resonance, where the timing of orbits creates rising tension between celestial bodies. The result? Sooner or later, something breaks. But before that happens, Earth would already be feeling the consequences. Double tides and flooded coasts. Our current tides are caused by the pull of a single moon. Add another, and the pattern becomes unpredictable. In some regions, the two tidal forces would align, creating super high tides powerful enough to drown coastal cities. In others, they'd cancel each other out, leaving strange, dry shorelines. Harbors would flood twice a day, beaches would vanish, and ocean currents would turn chaotic. But what happens when beauty turns against you? Entire ecosystems, from coral reefs to mangroves, would collapse under constant shifts in water pressure. And it wouldn't stop at the beaches. The changing weight of the oceans would stress Earth's crust, triggering earthquakes and undersea landslides. Can a second moon make Earth unlivable? Every coastline would become a danger zone. The double moons would look beautiful, but beneath them, Earth would be drowning. And as the world tries to adapt, a new problem begins to rise. One hidden not in the sea, but in the sky itself. A brighter, colder night. Two moons would reflect far more sunlight back to Earth. Nights would never be truly dark again. The sky would glow silver. Shadows would stretch longer, and darkness, something we've always trusted, would begin to disappear. Would humanity survive under a silver sky that never sleeps? Animals that depend on darkness, bats, owls, sea turtles, would lose their rhythm. Predators would hunt longer, prey would sleep less, and migration patterns would collapse. The natural order would start to break down under the weight of endless light. And humans wouldn't escape it either. Our sleep cycles would crumble. Studies already show that bright full moons disturb our rest. Now imagine that brightness doubled. Can beauty that never sleeps slowly destroy life itself? Our nights would look magical but feel exhausting. The world would shimmer in silver light, yet life beneath it would struggle to survive. The moons start to drift. As the smaller moon circles faster, tidal friction begins to slow Earth's rotation slightly, just like our real moon already does today. But with two moons, that slowing happens twice as fast. Days would lengthen by seconds every year. The energy lost by Earth's spin transfers into the moon's orbits, pushing them farther apart. Yet the smaller moon, being lighter, reacts differently. Instead of moving away smoothly, it starts to spiral inward again. Each orbit brings it a little closer, and the gravitational balance starts to crumble. At this stage, you could look up and see the little moon growing brighter each month. It would almost look like it's falling toward us, and you'd be right to worry, because soon it would. The collision of the moons. After centuries of this orbital struggle, the smaller moon finally crosses the safe boundary. The two moons meet in space, not gently but violently. The collision would release energy equivalent to billions of nuclear bombs. A blinding flash would light up the night sky, followed by clouds of molten rock and dust stretching thousands of kilometers. From Earth, it would look like a new sunrise, then a rain of fire. Chunks of glowing debris would fall through the atmosphere, creating meteor storms that last for weeks. Some fragments would hit oceans, creating giant waves. Others would burn up, painting fiery streaks across the horizon. When the dust finally settles, a single larger moon remains, scarred, uneven, and hauntingly familiar. In fact, this might explain why our real moon has one smooth side and one rough, mountainous far side. That smaller moon's final sacrifice may have shaped the sky we see today. Earth, after the impact. The collision wouldn't just change the moons, it would change Earth. For years afterward, debris orbiting Earth would block sunlight, cooling the planet. Temperatures would drop, creating a short lunar winter. Volcanic activity might rise as the crust flexes from new tidal pressures. Meteor showers would continue for centuries, leaving impact scars around the world. But over time, the skies would clear, and the single moon would settle into the stable orbit we know now. Life would slowly adapt again, and evolution would continue under one bright guardian in the sky. Still, that era of two moons would remain written in stone, in the craters, in the tides, and maybe even in ancient myths of twin moons that cultures pass down without knowing why. What if two moons existed today? Let's bring this theory into the present. What if Earth suddenly had two moons right now? Our satellites would immediately go off course. GPS systems would fail because both moons would constantly bend Earth's gravity field. Tidal power plants would overload, coastal cities like New York and Mumbai would face floods every week, and shipping routes would need to be redrawn. The constant stress on tectonic plates could trigger more earthquakes, especially near ocean ridges. The moon's pull already causes tiny bulges in Earth's crust. With two moons, those bulges would double. Volcanoes might erupt more often, releasing ash into the air and affecting global temperatures. In a few short decades, our climate, cities, and oceans would be reshaped. Humanity would have to adapt fast, or move. How humans would react? At first, there'd be awe. Social media would explode with pictures of the twin moons rising together. Religions would interpret it as divine signs, artists would create new symbols, and scientists would work around the clock to understand what's happening. But soon, the fear would set in. Governments would create lunar observation agencies to monitor the orbits. Evacuation zones would be drawn along coastlines. Astrophysicists would warn that the smaller moon's orbit isn't stable and that it's only a matter of time before a collision. Every night, people would go outside just to see if the distance between the moons had changed. It would become the most watched drama in human history. And the ending wouldn't be happy. The final crash. When the smaller moon finally breaks apart, the sky would turn into a storm of light. Debris would streak across the atmosphere, glowing like thousands of shooting stars. Small fragments would burn up, but larger ones could reach the surface, creating new craters. The remaining debris would form a thin, shimmering ring around Earth, like Saturn's halo, visible for years. And eventually, gravity would pull most of it down, leaving a single, lonely moon again. The world would remember that night forever. The night Earth's second moon died. Lessons from a double moon world. The idea of Earth having two moons sounds poetic, but it reminds us how fragile balance really is. One small change in gravity can reshape oceans, tilt climates, and rewrite history. If scientists are right, our current moon is the survivor of that ancient battle. A monument to cosmic chaos. It stabilizes Earth's tilt, controls the tides, and even influences our biological clocks. Without it, or with an extra one, life as we know it might never have evolved. Sometimes, stability is the greatest miracle of all. So, next time you look up at the moon, remember, it might have once had a twin. Two glowing worlds circling Earth, locked in a cosmic dance that ended in destruction. If that second moon had survived, our planet, the tides, the seasons, even life itself, might have been completely different. Double moons mean double beauty, but also double danger. Because in space, every miracle comes with a price. If you enjoyed exploring this what if with us, make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on the bell so you never miss the next journey into the unknown. Until then, keep your eyes on the sky, because the universe always has another secret to reveal.